Good morning. It's morning here where I am right now talking to you. So I guess the better thing is because we're all over the world and there's all kinds of options. Why don't I just say welcome back? Welcome back. It is, you know what? It's the wrong hand. I need that. It's been a very complicated time lately, for a lot of people. And, sometimes when we are struggling, when we're climbing that mountain over and over and over again, kind of on an uphill treadmill, it's easy to lose our sense of balance. Well, good morning. Good morning, Charles. How nice to see you. So I'm just starting a little early. I'm sneaking in right at the gun. And I had this idea today because we're all juggling so many pointed, flaming, gooey things that we never intended to pick up and can't figure out how to put down. I thought it would be great to talk about a little life hack that I forget to use all the time. And then when I remember, I think, duh. So I thought I would share it with you. And the first thing I'm going to do is put that down. So it's a little mom, and it's a whole lot of Abby. And because Abby was sort of the ingredient within mom, it's kind of a mix, right? So here's the thing. The picture that I've posted today, when the video goes live, and so it is live, but it's streaming right now. So when it's launched, or is it already launched? See, a little frazzled. The picture I've posted today for this video is mom looking in the oven. She's got soot on her finger, on her glove, and she is looking. It's a combination expression. It's utterly confused because she has no idea why or how. And it's also a little exasperated, disgusted, because now she has to clean something and she doesn't know how or why. And the reason I chose that picture, it's one of my favorite snapshots, of course, because there's nothing on the other end of the oven, right? I have always secretly believed that there's nothing really on the other end of an oven. What happens is you put in the raw glop and then you push a bunch of buttons, and the chef on the other side, or the sous chef on the other side, opens the back, looks at it and says, oh yeah, we got this, and takes it away. And an hour later, however long the button was pushed for, they put in something fabulous. Unless, of course, the chef on duty is sick that day and his unfortunate third cousin is taking over. And what you end up with is something that looks like I made it. So when those unexpected, goofy, upsetting things happen out of the blue, they seem random, they seem surreal. And then when there's a lot of them, it starts to feel like too much. The thing is that when there's so many of them, and it does feel like too much, and you want to say, hey, I'd like a timeout, please. Well, good morning, little miss. Nice to see you. Today I'm talking about the reason people say mean things, and that includes us. And I think the reason it happens is we get caught up in the weird, surreal, difficult, are you kidding me stuff. The flaming chainsaws covered all over in molasses and pointy things that we didn't intend to pick up and can't figure out how to put down. And Charles, I thought you'd like this. The thing is, while we're there, while we're blinking at that, what? We're not here. We're not present. We're not actually listening to the things people are saying to us. We're also not listening to the things we say to them. And the reason we're not listening is because we have this internal loop tape going on that we're listening to because it's louder. And the internal loop tape is all about whatever that is that seems to keep happening over and over until we want to punch somebody. And the other day, I got cut off in traffic by a really big vehicle. And then at the next, oops, hang on a second, just a second here. All right, oh, that went away. At the next light, somebody didn't realize it was a turning signal. And so they just sat there, and we all missed the turn. And everybody, yes, sometimes some things happen and boom. So we all missed the turn because this person ignored it for whatever reason. So that was two. And as I'm driving, and I'm kind of under a crunch, as I'm driving, I realize that I need to snap out of that because I'm about to get into fairly heavy traffic, going at a high rate of speed in the dark, in the rain. So I told myself to knock it off. I told myself that was then, even though then was 5 seconds ago and 10 seconds before that, that was then. And my job now is to be the alert Viking driver I've always been. And then I had this image of me actually on top of the car, dressed like a Viking with the shield and the sword. And I thought, yeah, that would cause the utmost damned astonishment. And then I was fine. So these code words we need to give ourselves are really important. They really matter because when we get caught up in that momentum of reacting to, where we've gone is to that subconscious emotional brain. And it's so important to remember that the unconscious subconscious emotional brain, the cave brain, I call it, because it's that old, sees everything as a survival, a life or death situation. It doesn't know that the person in the car ahead was probably surreptitiously checking their phone and missed the light. It doesn't know that. All it knows is there's a threat, and it raises your breathing rate. It puts you in panic. It causes you to get white knuckled over nothing, because seriously, there's going to be another light and another light and another light. And so if you go into that mindless emotional state, you're not going to do well, and you may make some dumb mistakes. So if you remember that subconscious brain is pure emotion: fight, flight, freeze, hide, comply. That's all it knows. All it knows is the simple repetition of the things that have kept our species alive for a while. Where we need to go is to the front of the brain, the thinking brain and the strategic brain that allow us to say, okay, hang on, take a minute. We're fine. Are we fine? Yes, we're fine. Are there saber-tooth whatnots in the car with us? No. All right, then. Take a step back. We're not going to have that kind of complicated conversation. What we need is a code word that makes us smile. My friend Mandy Morris uses bananas. It's just as easy to say minions or cupcakes or cheese doodles or anything that you find funny. Anything, any quick short word, and teach yourself. It's a practice thing. Any habit, you can learn a habit. You just have to repeat it for, 30 days? Do something for 30 days and it becomes part of who you are. That's because after 30 days, the subconscious brain says, got it, and adds it to the list. So when I was cut off, and I mean a big, one of those honking big vehicles that are, and I'm like this. And then the next one, also a honking big vehicle, wasn't even here with us in this moment. Maybe he was going fishing, I don't know. But the frustration, first of all, the fear that I might get hit. Secondly, the frustration that now I've missed an opportunity. You see, those things aren't real. They're things to be aware of. They're things to be alive to. They're not ours to own. They're ours to recognize, respond to, but not be driven by. And this element of pivotry A friend of mine who has been following the fact that we're doing Pivotry in Motion via me said there's a book out called Pivot to Power. It's a motivational book. And I sent her a note back and I said, yes, darling, but we don't pivot to power. We are the power. We pivot to embrace it and to use it, to follow the instructions, find the instructions and follow them. We already are the power. We already have all the magic. We just need to practice using it. And this is part of that. This is part of that journey. How we recognize anything that upsets us, the neighbor, the family member, the legal transaction, the time it takes for bureaucracy, the recurring issues we carry. You don't think a recurring issue that you're dealing with is not a product of the way we're not in control of what's going on up here? Really? You don't think so? Think again. We have the ability to rewire and rebuild and reset so that it is possible to smile, to look at something and say, okay, noted. Next. Noted means forgive it, learn from it, move on. It doesn't fester. There's no point in allowing it to fester, right? So the situation with Mom in that kitchen that everyone enjoyed so much. And I understand the reasons why the fans of the show really would like to have it back. And I'm resetting in January with the big move. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And as you're getting ready for the big move, as you're going through the process, Charles is moving, and it's a big deal because it has been a huge shift and a huge letting go of many things that he has held onto loyally, faithfully, stubbornly, and then began to realize that they're simply, he's outlived them. He's outgrown them. And now he's excited. Before he resisted, before he was unhappy, before he didn't think anything could be possible that would be better. And now he's realized, well, of course there can be. Of course. All he has to do is lean in. It's there waiting. When we lean in, it's there. So the Mom story, the situation with Mom, the thing that was so funny was, and I don't know how many people understand this when they think about it, when they've watched the show. It was an unusual concept that Roger Price created, unusual in many ways, on many levels. As we all know, it was about kids not being preached to. It was about kids leaning in and taking ownership. It was about parents showing the worst possible sides of them, not in a terrible way, but in a laughable way. And it gave people permission to rethink the way the relationships in our families can be. Part of the way we did that was the way we structured the sketches. Everything was a minimum of 20 seconds to a maximum of 45 seconds. And the reason we did that was to keep it tight, to keep it crisp, and to keep the show feeling like it was moving quickly. And the segues from each sketch to sketch, they all followed the theme for that episode. And it gave us an opportunity to not linger in one spot, to allow us to go from living room to kitchen, to classroom, to link set, to arcade back in the early days, to Barth's, to the dungeon, and the bathroom, and so on and so on. It allowed us to create a kaleidoscope that is the way kids feel life sometimes is. Nothing is ever all in one place for very long. The next thing you know, we're outside. The next thing you know, we're at camp. The next thing you know, time goes by quickly for kids. Even though it feels in certain classes in school, it feels like forever, it goes quickly. So mom, in her roles in the various places in the home, had an opportunity to be two or three kinds of things that gave the writers the opportunity to surprise the children and the viewers. Sometimes she was quite hopeless, another time she was quite sneaky. Sometimes she was clever, and sometimes she was absent-minded. And you never knew what you were going to get. It's kind of like Forrest Gump's box of chocolates. And the fun in playing her that way was that I had also, Abby, the actress, had the opportunity to sneak up on the kids, even when it wasn't written in the script. What that gave the kids and the fans and the writers was an opportunity to see how many ways there are to interpret what people say. So the theme today is why people are mean. And the answer, I think, that's why you love the mom character, just like my mom was. Oh my goodness, Charles. Oh my goodness, Charles. Thank you, and I'm so sorry. What can I say? The reason people are mean is because they're not listening to you. They're not listening to the moment. They're reacting to the one that was. And if they're afraid, if they're frustrated, if they're confused, if they're exhausted, if they just can't stand it, that is how they talk to us. And that is how we talk to them. So when you say an innocent, simple thing and somebody snaps back at you, and it may not even be on topic, instead of saying, hey, what we can say is, and where were you just now? What do you mean? Well, something's bothering you. Are you okay? Diffuse the situation. So we need the code word, whatever it is, whatever silly, wonderful disrupt you can do, disconnect you can do, chocolate, cupcakes, pincushion, umbrella, giraffe, I don't know. Any word that you like that always makes you grin, write it down. Put it on Post-it notes. I have Pivotry in Motion on a wristband. I look at it all the time. Why? Because it allows me to remember that I am a work in progress, and Pivotry is my gift. Coffee. There you go, Charles. Don't encourage your mother. Here's the thing you should really be worried about. Encouraging Abby. If you think mom was untethered, darlings, you have no idea. So I can't stay long because I have to dash away and take care of some things that are really important. I will be back on Thursday. I will be sharing with you more fun things, more eye-opening ahas, more occurrences, things that popped into my head. And you know what I'm loving about the way this is unfolding? I'm loving the way you're not only commenting to me, but you're talking amongst yourselves. We are creating a tribe, a community. And I think that this is pure magic. I can't believe how lucky I am to be part of this. So, as usual, before I let you go, remember to tell your friends how much fun this is. Let them know we're at 168. I think we can probably get 175 by Christmas. I really hope so. Yes, Charles, and I'm glad that you're a part of mine. I'm glad that you and Kat are part of my life too. It's wonderful. So tell your friends how cool this is. Remind them to subscribe so we can get our numbers up. All right. And I'm going to go and fight a few dragons today. And I will see you back here 10 o'clock on Thursday. Is that fair? Is that a good bargain? All right. So in the meantime, be good to you. Pause before you snap at people. And remember to hug your loved ones. All right. Thank you for watching. See you next time.